Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nicole, thank you for being so specific in terms of the guidance to the committee. I think probably the others on the panel would agree that we can't make roads happen, we can't make water infrastructure happen unless we have some sense to the permitting process. And so keenly identifying a couple of things that we need to focus on, joint MOUs, but also the FAST Act itself. You and the folks at AFN did a great job in supporting us with the infrastructure grant symposium that we had last month. But it was your Navigator program and that cadre of regional navigators that I think are going to be important. They were important then, but they're going to be important moving forward as we're all seeking to access the opportunities that are coming from the infrastructure bill. So given that, do you have any recommendations for best practices that you might offer to the White House Council on Native American Affairs or the BIA as to how they might create a larger federal Navigator program? You've got the Navigator programs over at DOI. You are having them set up an interagency coordinator position to assist tribes. So it seems to me we're designating lots of individuals and entities to be there to help, but how does the individual tribe in a remote area know even where to go? So any guidance on this?
Thank you very much for the question, Senator Murkowski. It is difficult for individual tribes in Alaska. We have 229 of them. They are small, they are undercapitalized. In a lot of instances, they are far removed from our bigger cities, which are not really big cities compared to the lower 48. And internet connections are stable if they have them at all. So I would encourage the tribes in Alaska and to the lower 48, if it applies to them in their regions, to really work through their regional bodies that they have established. The good thing is that there are several national, statewide organizations, and we are sort of repeating each other's efforts, tracking the grants, making sure that the Native communities know about them and how to apply for them. In terms of what can all of the other federal agencies do to help along the way, go out and hire folks like Adam and Fatma and Lucy and Amber and put them to work. We don't need more individuals who are doing things the same way that has been done for the past couple of decades. We need fresh ideas. We need hard workers, folks that are willing to think out of the box. It's not good enough in Indian country and across the islands to hit send on an email. That's not how we reach our people. That's not how we're doing it through the Navigator program. We are faxing. We are using public radio. We are using VHFs. In some instances, we have tracked down a tribal administrator on a commercial fishing vessel in the middle of Bristol Bay during the salmon run and said, you have to get back to your office. You have 24 hours to apply for the mandatory minimum ARPA employment allocation that will come to your tribe. So it's going those extra miles. But if we just continue to box check, which also is an unfortunate occurrence a lot of times when we do tribal consultations, we're not going to get there. So I often tell federal agencies, if the federal government wants to learn how to consult with Native communities and tribes, sign up for one of Adam Geisler's tribal consultations. We will wait on the line for 8 hours because he stays on the line with us for 8 hours. He knows about the programs. If he doesn't know about them, he writes it down and he follows up. Other agencies oftentimes say, thank you, your 2 minutes is up, move on to the next person. So those might be a little bit too plain and direct, but
I don't think they are too plain and direct at all. I think we know whether you're in the islands or whether you're in Alaska or you're in South Dakota. As you say, people are communicating in different ways, and they're not waiting for that email to come across to find out what they're supposed to be doing next. Doesn't translate that way. So thank you for making it real, and again, the very, very genuine efforts that the Navigator program has made, and clearly it's yielding dividends. So I would commend that to the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.